Finally, when the block gets to the end, it has to be dropped possibly as much as 20 or 50 centimeters from the rollers onto the ground. Now, this would normally be a risky operation. They would have had to have done it using wedges, so the block would be lowered, as you can see on the video, into position without chipping the end. They would have had to have made sure that the block came to rest on a patch of rock that was already pre-lubricated, so that when the roller sleds had been removed, the men could push it into its final position. I think a very efficient lubricant would have been needed for this, and I'll talk about this later. They certainly would have needed something that substantially, i.e. more than 95%, reduced the friction, so that they could push the final stone into position with a reasonable degree of control without too much effort. This project is based on a number of simple features. Firstly, the Egyptians were a river people who transported many things by water. Now, when it comes to transporting heavy objects like a stone, ships will do this easily, but the stone has to be positioned exactly in the middle of the ship and equidistant from the side, otherwise it topples over, because the ship not only floats, it's balanced. And therefore, to load and unload this, they had to have a mechanism for lifting the stone off the quay, placing it on the ship, and conversely lifting it off the ship and placing it on the quay, especially since they were transporting thousands of blocks by this means. So they had that. They also had the shadoof, which was a counterbalanced weight that lifted water from the river into drainage canals. So they were using balance and counterbalance. And again, we knew the Egyptians had a knowledge of this. They weighed things regularly. We know they had ropes, and we know they had these little sleds. These have been found. So putting all these together, it's not too much of a stretch of the imagination to see how this would have been arranged.